Alright, hi guys. So today we're going to create a toggle switch using HTML and CSS. Then we are going to enable switching between light and dark theme by using JavaScript. So as you can see here, I've already created our HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files. So in a HTML file, let's go ahead and create the boilerplate template. So I'm just going to call this light dark theme. That doesn't really matter. I'm gonna create a link to the CSS style sheet. Create a div. I'm gonna give it a class of container. For the input, gonna give it a checkbox. I'll explain why later. Name, we'll just call it switch, as in referring to the toggle switch. Okay, and let's give it some content. I'll just call it light dark theme. Yeah, let's give it some placeholder text. Right, okay. Okay, so here we have the HTML content. Now let's move on over to the CSS styling bit. So we're going to style the body element. I'm going to give it a margin left just to make it look nicer. 100 pixels. There we go. Looks nicer now. Okay, now I'm going to style the div, the container class. I'm going to give it a display of flex. I'm going to turn it into a flex box though. And yeah, I'm going to give it a flex n. So that later the toggle switch will go all the way to the right once we do create a switch. Okay, so now let's style the label. I'm gonna give it a background color of black. Pixels. So this to make it look rounder. For the border radius, position of relative. I'm gonna give it cursor pointer so that when we do have it over the label, it will look like a pointer. So it's more it's clearer. Give it a transition of 0.4 seconds. Okay, so now let's create the toggle switch by using label after and pairing that with content. So basically this content property, when we pair it with label after, this will essentially create a pseudo element inside of the label, which we can then style however we want. So for example, I can give it a width of, let's say, 30%, height of 80, position of absolute, so that it is positioned relatively to the label. Border radius of 20 pixels. I want it to be away from the top of 0.3 rems. Now let's make it the same for left. Background color of white, and a transition of 0.4 seconds. Okay, let's see how it looks. There we go. Okay, so yeah, basically this is a toggle switch. As you can see, this is a background color of black and this is a background color of white. So yeah. Okay, next we want to enable the switch animation, so that when we click it, it will go to the right. One way of triggering this is when this checkbox is checked by clicking on the label. So, alright, let me show you guys how to do that. Okay, first, let's create a pseudo input check plus label after left 65%, background color of black. Let's also make it checked plus label background color of white. Okay, moment of truth. There we go. Okay, so basically what this does is that when we click it, the toggle bar moves away from the left to the end and its color turns black. At the same time, the label turns white. So we have this pretty cool toggle switch animation effect, whenever we click on it. Later you see why I make the background of the label turn white, because what we essentially want is that when we do enable a dark theme, this whole background would turn black, and so this white will be more distinctive. Okay, so let's now move on to creating the light dark theme trigger. Okay, so first in our CSS style sheet, let's go on to the body element. I'm going to set the transition for the body to be, nope, not transition timing function, to be 0.5 seconds for the body background and text color transition. Seconds, color 0.5 seconds. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create the dark class. I'm going to give it a background color of black. Give the text color white. I'm also going to hide a checkbox so it wouldn't look, out of place. How we can do that is first I'm going to select specifically that checkbox element. I'm going to give it a width of 0, height of 0, and give it a visibility of hidden. So this will essentially hide the checkbox from our view. Now, so we can test it. Yep, as you can see, the checkbox is gone now. Now, finally, in my JavaScript, I'm going to select the body and input element. Document.query selector body. Okay, I'm gonna select the input as well. Okay, gonna add an event listener. I'm gonna click event. Okay, so basically what I've done here is that I've added an event listener to the input element so that when you do click on the input, which will be triggered when you click on the toggle switch here, the body would have a class of dark. So let's test it out. Oops, sorry, some error going on here. Right, let's see what's the issue. Right, sorry, my bad. I'm supposed to add the script.js here so we can link it to the JavaScript sheet. Yeah, sorry, my bad. All right, so yeah, there you go. Our very own light dark theme switch, which you can turn, on and off whenever you want. Um, Okay, so if you guys found this video helpful, please give a like and subscribe, as I'll be putting on more video tutorials like this. Also, if you have any questions or suggestions on how the code can be improved or how I can improve my video, as I know it's not smooth at the moment, I'm trying to improve my tutorial skills. You can leave it in the comments below as well on on how I can improve or if you have any questions. So yeah, that's all for now. See you in the next video.